So I was working through some of this red stuff on camera for y'all, and unfortunately, I'm assuming it was a heat fracture because I was just abrading it when it broke, and there was something going on that edge. Really wish it had made it, but it didn't, so we'll move on to something else. Maybe we'll make an arrowhead or something out of this piece or this piece. Like, these would both make good hunting points. Kind of upset about it. Most of it doesn't come in red. This one could possibly be red, but it sure looks like it's a lot lower quality. So maybe we'll take a few test. I grabbed a couple different pieces. So we'll take a couple test flakes. Yeah. That one's probably going to be no good, unfortunately. And that's after going through the heat treating process. That may be something to try for a challenge. Sorry, I threw it against another rock over there. But this piece, this could be some pretty good stuff. And it looks like it is. So let's work through this. Yeah, it's a lot higher quality. But it's very narrow, so. So on these really narrow pieces like this, I kind of have a technique where by the way, this is good quality for what I've been finding. Tell just by the way it flakes. I kind of have a technique where I do that right there. I kind of already did it now, but I'll come around and I'll take out as much mass from those square edges as I can. Before I ever start my zigzag. And then voila, we went from what we had to that, which is a massive improvement because we saved quite a bit of width, and now we've gotten it down to something we can kind of work with. Kind of run flakes across pretty well. It's not perfect, but it'll work. So now the next step is to come back and abrade all this and try to get some flakes to travel. There we go. There was just no other way for me to approach that besides like that for right now, so I did it. Probably shouldn't have. This stuff right here, man. This is some high quality chert. Now, in its raw state, what's funny is, in its raw state, most people would throw it down. They would think, oh, well, that's not worth napping. I would. Until I started playing with it. Started taking it home and heating it really hot. Well, not really hot, but pretty hot. This isn't a modified turkey roaster with the liner taken out and an insulated lid. Max temp is somewhere around 550-ish, 600 max. And at that temp, you really start to see the magic. If you heat this to 450, you almost don't even notice a change. But when you take it that hot, it really comes to life. Y'all have to bear with me on this one as far as what I'm able to make out of it, because it was narrow to start with and had some weird angles, so I'm gonna have to switch over to the indirect and do some damage control. But I imagine we're gonna end up with a fairly narrow point. So I hate to do that to y'all, and everybody wants to see as big and wide as possible, but for me it's not really realistic most of the time. I like to get whatever I can out of a piece of rock. So if the rock wants to be narrow, then unfortunately for you guys, it's going to be narrow. But I'm happy with every time I make something out of rock I collect myself. I'm super thrilled. Super thrilled. So there's something very special about it. It's very rewarding, I guess I should say. If you've started napping but you haven't started collecting your own rock, maybe you live in an area where you can't, which is fine. Oh, I messed my camera up. Sorry, you guys. Hopefully we haven't been out of frame the whole time. So, man, I'd be really upset if we've been out of frame the whole time. I'm not a great YouTuber, so sometimes I forget to kind of pay attention to what I'm doing. I just come out here and start napping something. Hope for the best. Matter of fact, that's pretty much the way it goes every time. If anybody's wondering, what's your process like? My process is I come outside and I start napping, and I hope it turns out on video. And if it doesn't, I just wait until one does. Not every point I make is on video. Matter of fact, I'd say that the large majority of stuff I nap isn't on video, which I think is probably that way for everybody that's napping on YouTube, if I had to guess. For me, and this is my personal feelings on it, so take that with a grain of salt. I don't want napping to be a job, so I just still want to nap for fun, but I still want to make videos for y'all. But I don't get paid from doing YouTube, so I just do it to do it. So I don't take it very seriously, which I think is fine. I don't think people care that I don't take it very seriously. I don't do social media. So, I do have an Instagram for the Flintknapping, but I have no personal accounts. So, YouTube is my way to share what I'm doing with the world. I do share some on Reddit. I don't know if that counts as social media. I'm thinking like Facebook and stuff. I just don't do Facebook. And the only thing I do on Reddit is share in the napping forum. Since the advent of social media, a lot of my favorite forums are dead. Like, I used to love Paleo Planet, and it hasn't been very active in years. I wish it was. That was fantastic forum. Fantastic. A lot of knowledge was shared over there. So I think we need to move over to some pressure flaking just for a minute and get this edge kind of refined a little bit so we can do some more indirect. I don't want to break this by being stupid and taking it really far, so we're gonna get set up to do some pressure here. And we'll try to refine this baby a little. I'm really upset about breaking that red one, but I guess it's the way it goes sometimes. That red one, I've got another one, and the rock comes from the same exact area, but it's different. It's not the same as this. I don't know exactly what makes the colors different, and the red seems to be just a higher quality chert. A matter of fact, if I can figure out, it doesn't look like that before you heat treat it. Should probably add that in there. It doesn't look like that. It just kind of looks grainy and orange. When you heat treat it, it turns into that, which is just wonderful. So I'm gonna try in future cooks to not cook that with the blue stuff and this stuff. Y'all seen the blue stuff in other videos, and if you haven't, go watch them, please. I'm begging. Yeah, go watch them, please, and then subscribe, because I've got a 5-gallon bucket sitting next to me of stuff I've been heat treating. So unfortunately, I hope you guys, what you do, seem to like the Florida chert videos, because probably gonna have some of those coming real soon. Because it's about what I'm down to for napping material right now, and I'm probably not going to buy any more anytime soon. I do have a trip planned, 2 trips planned coming up. Got a trip next weekend I've been talking about with a guy I know. Hopefully going to get some more Flint River, and then I've got a trip planned to go to Texas again in December. And if I can ever get my act together, I don't know if it'll be this year or when it'll be, But if I can ever get my act together, I'm hoping to go visit with Craig Raditz that owns Neolithics and do some quarrying for his Kia Cook and probably purchase some obsidian and stuff while I'm out there. I've got plans. And I plan to shoot some YouTube videos too. I recently bought a drone, a good one, for doing some hunting videos. I live on a very special piece of property. I'm very fortunate in that aspect. And said piece of property has very good deer hunting. And I'm hoping to, well, not next weekend, but the weekend after next is the first day of bow season. And if y'all been watching the channel, I've been prepping for that for a really long time. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I cut myself, sorry here. We're gonna have to do something about that. That's a good one. Give me a second here. If I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I've never hunted like I should have in bow season with a primitive bow. I took one shot at a deer in 10 plus years of making my own bows and arrows, and that's mainly because I never put in the effort to get out there and hunt. I used to work a lot more than I do now, and spent more time at work than in the woods, that's for sure. But now I don't travel for work anymore, so this year should be a I'm hoping it's the one. I've got a really authentic bow setup, and I've got just a flat bow made from hophorn beam, all river cane arrows, all stone point snapped by me. Oh, that's another question I had for y'all. Can y'all leave me a comment and let me know if you've watched the primitive arrow making video? Tell me if I should redo it. I think it kind of sucked, and it didn't get the traction I kind of hoped it would get. And I'm fairly good at making arrows, and I thought that video was pretty informative, but the quality of the video was subpar. Not the camera quality, but just the overall production quality was subpar. So y'all let me know if y'all think I should redo that, if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, maybe, just maybe, hear me out, will you go watch it and tell me? Go watch it. Nobody has to know. Don't leave this video to go watch it, but you know, after this video, go find it and let me know. Leave a comment on it, or leave a comment on this. I won't get offended. I really like positive feedback. I like feedback of any kind. I'd rather y'all not be like rude to me, but you know, if it needs to be said, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. Like if you're like, hey man, this video would have been good except you did this or you did that. I do read every comment, and I try to respond to every comment. I'm not a big enough channel to be ignoring my loyal fans, all, I think 194 of you. Which is another thing, I get good views, just don't get a lot of subscribers. And does that mean that maybe it's not interesting? I don't know. Maybe it's not interesting to everybody, or, but there's, you know, I like Flintknapping, but there's people on YouTube I don't like to watch. I just don't like their videos. And it's nothing against them. They may be good nappers. They just don't appeal to me. There's other people that I watch every video they make, so I'm not sure if I haven't found the magic yet or not. Or maybe that's just how it works. I think we're actually, I should start taking pictures of befores and afters of the rock I start with, because almost every video I do is a rock to point. It's always some weird stuff too. I'm always out here just like, hey, I found this rock in a river and we're gonna nap it. I don't know what it's called. I'm not even sure if it's flint or coral or what. So, enjoy. You can watch me struggle for 45 minutes. Dude, some of my struggle, this one, like, when I was thinning it, I was like, oh yeah, we are doing good. And now I'm like, not so hot. All right, let's see what we can refine here. We're just trying to squeeze the last little bit of thinness out of this guy that we can. I know I shouldn't, but I can't stand leaving them thick. I think that's the main challenge for me is thinness and size. So I want them to be as big and long, as wide as possible, and as thin as possible. Isn't that everybody? Is that everybody? And people are like, well, those are nice and thin. No. Y'all haven't seen some of the people's stuff I've seen. Hang out with Curtis Smith one time. Look in his keeper points case or his for sale points case, and then tell me if anything you've made is thin. Some people, I mean, there's probably people watching this video who are possibly that good, but I'm not. Oh, but do I want to be? Oh, I want to be. All right, I'm thinking we can really do the rest of this with pressure. And we really should. I don't see any issues that I can't. I'm gonna get that off for pressure. There's nothing too bad over here, so I think we're gonna go pressure for the rest of this. And then I'll figure out what I wanna make out of it. Okay? Don't ask me. I don't like to pick before I'm there. It's like, hey, you know, I don't wanna. Did I already say that in this video? I didn't want to count my chickens before they hatch. I think I did. Would y'all watch a live stream, like, while I try to find my pressure flaker here? Like, I'm not saying watch a live stream right now, but like, if I did one, would you watch it? And if I did do one, what would be the best time for you guys to want to watch it? Like, and would you? I need to know that too. Can you comment that? Will you comment that? I don't know where my pressure flaker is. I need it. Y'all know which one I'm talking about, that little one. Do other people organize their stuff better than me, or am I just, is this pretty much standard? I feel like other people probably organize a little better than I do. I may have to cut this out till I can hunt down my pressure flaker. Huh. Well, it's been a little bit since I did any napping, but the last time I napped, that was the only thing I used. I made a bunch of, not the only thing I used, it was one of the main things I used though. So it ought to be right here on top. I don't know, we'll find it in a minute. I need my little one though, but we'll, oh, it's right there. Duh. Alright, I will cut some of that out. No, I won't. I lied. I won't. I don't know, should I? Hey, I'm gonna leave it in, and y'all can tell me you should cut stuff like that out of your video. How am I supposed to know unless y'all tell me what you want to see? I mean, y'all tell me anyway by like how many watches the video gets, but sometimes I post stuff and I'm like, oh, this is gonna do good, and it doesn't. And I'm like, well, did nobody see it or did nobody like it? So are y'all seeing the stuff I post and just, I don't know. Can you answer that? What do you like to see? Like, at first I thought everybody likes to see obsidian, right? Because I made a couple obsidians, and then I thought, well, everybody likes to see heat treat because I did a Texas heat treat video. And that is still my most watched full-on video. I've had some shorts that have done exceptional, but that's kind of, I won't say they're cheating, but YouTube tends to really promote those heavy, so you can kind of they're not a great metric, I should say. That stuff flakes so well, just wonderfully well. Oh, drop the point. Hey, that's the one for the video. I'm not trying to do that on purpose. I think that I just want y'all to know I always drop the point. Every video, I drop the point. It's a thing here. It's something we do. It's not necessarily a requirement, but at this point, it's maybe a feature. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Some of my older viewers won't get that reference, and they'll be like, what is he talking about? Sorry. What's up? That was actually a video game related analogy when, and this is not like related to Flintknapping at all, but when certain programming companies make video games and they have issues, it's always a joke that, well, it's not a bug, it's a feature. When it's something that is entertaining to the player of said video game. I don't know if you've ever heard that or not. I broke the tip off of it a little bit, but that's pretty standard for me. My points always just get shorter and shorter and narrower and narrower. Is that thin enough to suit y'all? Should I run some more indirect on it, or should I just, I think I should probably just leave it alone. It is a large point. It doesn't need to be 1/8 of an inch. This and the blue stuff, it really pressure flakes well. I think it's, I don't know why, but it really does. I'm not a great pressure flaker, so I can really tell when something pressure flakes well. And boy oh boy does this pressure flake well. Like, if a guy wanted to, you could totally slab this and run flakes all the way across it with pressure, I think. It's one of the best. It's soft, I think is what I'm trying to say, which makes it very prone to snapping in half. But at the same time, it makes it really easy to pressure flake. I'm gonna try to get this crap off, and then we're gonna leave it alone and do our final shaping. This isn't the nicest, most colorful piece of chert I have, but it was a good one to start with, and it was kind of, I got most of that off. We're leaving it. I don't care. It was one of the one of the larger pieces in there. This heat, I just did it like just a couple, well, it was on its cool down cycle today, so I turned it off actually I think I turned it off early this morning, and it's probably I don't know, it might be 9 o'clock right now, and it just now cool enough I felt like it was safe to open it up. Like, when you could touch it by hand, it's probably safe, but you really don't want to push that issue too much. Tip's a little thick, but again, one of those things I really don't want to push it any further. I broke the tip off of it once playing around down there trying to get that last little bit of thinness out of it, and I think I'll stop while I'm ahead. I'll get it down to a sharp point, as sharp as I can, and then we'll stop playing with the tip. Not terrible. Overall, not bad. We need to do some symmetry work. It's pretty rough edges, and that's due to the kind of fragile nature of this heat-treated chert. It really wants to break out on you when you put that downward force on it that I'm putting on it. What I'm doing is I'm putting like little micro serrations in the edge, and this is not going to be hunted with probably. There's no need, or it might be made into a knife, but it'll probably be made, if I make it into a knife, it'll probably be made into an art kind of knife and not a actual. I don't sell stuff to people to like primitive hunt with or anything like that. I just sell it to people to look at, and I normally do it at art shows where people are like buying it to sit on their desk in their office. And that's just mainly because I don't know, that primitive hunting market's space is a little at some points it seems to me a little, well, I'm gonna stop right there. I'm not gonna say anymore. If you know, you know. But I'm not getting into that. I don't want to, just don't want to go down that path. But I do like to do fine pressure flaking on my stuff because it should be. I have some artifacts, and maybe I'll drag them out on video one day. I have some artifacts that are just, the flaking is insane. How fine it is. Just the, shoot, they're literally sitting inside right there. I ought to go grab them. I'm not going to, but maybe on another video we'll talk about that. But the flaking is crazy. Absolutely crazy how good the flaking is. And they weren't even using steel, you know. I'm using a steel flaker. They were out there doing that with antler. And it is absolutely gorgeous. Didn't I say I was going to leave this tip alone? I did. Did I lie? Is it really lying? Have I ever told y'all that I have a bad habit about not being able to leave stuff alone? And I just keep messing with it. I wouldn't say it's OCD because I'm not like that with not everything. I'm not a perfectionist. Everything I own is a disaster. Like, not like a clean freak or nothing. How much more pressure flaking can y'all stand to watch? As much as I can stand to do, or hey, comment down below and tell me how boring my pressure flaking is. Please like and subscribe. Am I getting the YouTube, like, am I capturing the YouTube vibe? Y'all, I'm like cool with it. I want to corner notch it. Duh. I want to ruin it. Every time, man. I'm gonna corner notch it. I really am. I'm gonna corner notch it like way in, real stupidly. You may ask yourself why. Why would I do that? Well, the answer is, and this is very serious stuff, so make sure you're paying attention here. The answer is because I want to. I know that's probably a lot of information to drop all at once, but it is the truth. And I think that historically, if we look back, the reason they did stuff like that was I think they probably had the same answer, because if you look at them functionality wise, most of the time it doesn't seem to make a difference. Oh, was a corner notched or a stem point better, or was a fluted clovis? Well, kind of depended on what you wanted and what you wanted it for. Did you want it for hunting mammoths? Did you want it for hunting deer? Did you want it for two-legged game? Were you trying to impress the girl down the street, next village over, her father? Like, what's going on here? What were you trying to do? And I think if we'll look at that, you'll realize that in all those cases, it was probably what they wanted. Was that funny? I thought so. Let's play a game called Do I Really Need That Corner? This is where a punch comes in handy, and I have one somewhere. Are we going to use it? No, we're not going to use it. Should we? Most likely. I could kind of widen these notches up some, and let maybe today, just for y'all, we will. This isn't the softest rock in the world. I know I just said it was easy to pressure flake, but it is easy to pressure flake, but it's not easy to notch. And I think that's really due to the fact that it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's more brittle than it is glassy. And I think that maybe what I was trying to say earlier is that it's brittle. So when you try to take flakes off of it inside of those notches, I have a bad habit of wanting to really crush the edge you're working on. Doesn't want to flake as bad as it wants to crush. Does that make sense? Maybe somebody else out there is relating to what I'm saying. Think crush, not flake. And when you're trying to notch, that's not the best thing in the world. And I'm also trying, since I know it's kind of brittle and kind of fragile, dang, that pressure flaker needed to be sharpened. I'm trying not to really put a ton of force on it. But I'm about to. If I can ever get this. Oh, it bit, just didn't drive very much of a flake. Dang. Just, I've got it pretty good installed out in there, y'all. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do much more with that. I'm putting a tremendous amount of force on that. It's really not even that stalled out. It ought to go. I'm just not going to be able to get it. Nope. Alright. Well. Try to get in there again with this, but man, it got tough on me all of a sudden. I did get a flake right there. I got another one right there. Yeah, that's a little better. This is a Kirk, by the way. Yeah, that's what we call it. Not a great Kirk. Let me point that out. But a Kirk nonetheless. Or it could be a big Sandy. It depends on... I don't know. Anytime you have a corner notch, basal corner notch point like this, there's like 14 different type classifications it can be lumped into, just depending. It basically depends on area it was found in and, you know, overall quality of the notches. I'm gonna say Kirk because Florida points can either be, and Kirk's not just a Florida point either, but it is a Florida point style like they find them here, and this is Florida rock. Kirks can look like Lost Lakes can look like Kirks, but normally they're pretty rough like that. They're not the best in the world. This is not the best in the world. It yeah, it is what it is. I'm cool with it though. It didn't get super thin on me. We kind of struggled through her for a while there, but more of that Florida chert. Sorry it wasn't this color. But we did what we could. Thank y'all for watching. Hopefully that wasn't too... Oh, it was pretty long. It looks better on camera than it does in person, honestly. Yeah, it looks great, guys. No, I'm just kidding. It looks better on camera than it does in person. It is slightly see-through. I can kind of tell that just from the edges. Let me grab my phone light here and we'll see if I can get it to show up a little bit better. Oh yeah. You can kind of see, yeah, you can see through it. Interesting, because it doesn't look like it'd be translucent on you know, just in standard practice. That's cool. All right, thank you all for watching. Appreciate it. Little Kirk. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. All right, now I'm leaving. Bye.